Hi, today I'm going to do an Audrey Hepburn in funny face makeup tutorial. For my own pleasure really, but hopefully you'll enjoy it too. I have done an Audrey Hepburn look before. I did her Breakfast at Tiffany's look, but that was quite a 60s look, and Audrey's makeup changed quite a lot between the 50s and the 60s. Now, her makeup artist on Funny Face was Wally Westmore. He was the makeup designer. He was actually the makeup designer also for Breakfast at Tiffany's. But Audrey had one makeup artist really that created her signature look throughout her career, and that was Italian makeup artist Alberto Rossi. So I'm starting by using the Hourglass primer, and this is the Mineral Veil. Just going to put a light layer of this all over. For my base, I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible, which is their long-lasting foundation. And for my concealer, I'm going to use Maybelline Fit Me in all the areas I need it. Audrey was quoted as saying of Rossi that not only is Alberto simpatico, which means lovely in Italian, but he's also a great makeup artist. And her son said that when Alberto died, Audrey cried as if she'd lost a brother and said that she'd rather not work again. And I think it's really has a lot of similarities, really, her relationship with her makeup artist, with Marilyn, and her makeup artist Whitey, in that they had this incredibly close relationship, because lots of the big starlets at that time would often change makeup artists, often do their makeup themselves. But really, Audrey and Marilyn had this one kind of true love makeup artist that really defined and developed their signature looks. So on to eyes, and I'm going to use the Urban Decay Primer Potion all over as a base. Now the eyeshadow look's going to be quite simple, because it's really just her brows and her lip colours that changed dramatically between the 50s and the 60s. But her eye look, her kind of signature eye look, didn't really change that much. So to start with, I'm going to use this NARS colour. No idea what it's called. I'm going to have a look. It is called Biarritz. Kind of beigey colour. I'm going to use that all over to start. It's just really quite neutral on my skin tone, this one. And then I'm going to use a slightly deeper shade, a brownish shade. This is called Blondie, also by NARS. And I'm going to use that with a smallish blending brush, which I don't have here at the moment, but I'm going to get one. So with the brown shade, I'm just going to shade the socket line. Now, Audrey had obviously naturally beautiful doe eyes. I'm going to sort of cheat, because she had a really big space here on her brow bone, and then it was quite sort of a smallish lid space and quite deep. So I'm going to kind of cheat that by going into that space there, putting my brows up while I do it, so that you don't really see it so much when it comes down. We're doing kind of a line straight from the sort of middle to the outer corner there. I'm not going to blend that too much either, so we get that kind of fake sort of shape there, that deep set look. Just blend the edges. So on to eyeliner, and it was really still her kind of signature look. I'm going to do the look that is when she's kind of revealed as a model. So it was quite a thick line right from the inner corner, and I'm going to use the Hourglass gel liner. So really right from that inner corner, and then just building up as I go across, and just going over and over to make it nice and dense. And then at the outer corner, she wasn't really winged out a lot, probably because her eyes were so naturally doe-shaped anyway that they probably just didn't need to. I'm going to a little bit, because obviously I don't have that natural shape. and I'm sure they would have used a liquid liner. It looks like a liquid liner. I'm quite enjoying this pencil at the moment. It's really smooth and nice. I'm probably just going to go to about there, and then again just really fill in between those lashes. Okay, so I also need to do a little bit of powder. Forgot to do that before. Just a light dusting. So onto lashes. I've already curled them, and I'm going to use the Lancome Doll Eyes mascara because I think that name really sums Audrey up. Naturally doll eyes. And then a tiny amount underneath, just really through the roots underneath. And Audrey's son said that he used to watch her having her makeup done by Alberto, and that he used to put 3 good coats of mascara on and separate each lash with a pin with each layer. So it must have take quite a long time. And I think that it's not always obvious that she's wearing false eyelashes. In fact, in the scene that I'm doing, I'm kind of convinced that she's not wearing false eyelashes, especially learning of his technique of just layering and layering and layering on the mascara. I am going to use false eyelashes because I don't think I've got my eyelashes on quite as thick, although I am going to comb them through with a brush rather than a pin to really separate them before I put the lashes on. So for my lashes, I'm using the Demi Wispies by Ardell, but I've cut the 2 at the inner corner, so you really just want to focus on those outer lashes. So I'm just going to drop them on, right down to the roots, and let them dry. But you can see that's really going to extend that kind of sweepy 50s look. So on to brows, and Audrey's brows were obviously a huge statement in the 50s and the 60s actually, although they were quite a bit softer in the 60s. In the 50s they were really dark, really thick, and at the front here really boxy. It suited us so well because she had such a lot of space between her eyebrows. She had this really sort of wide open, very kind of serene looking forehead, and that amount of space really lent itself to having that very boxed out shape. My eyebrows are quite a bit closer together than hers, so I'm going to have to cheat that a little bit, otherwise I'm going to look really angry. And also she had this very high second half of her brow. To achieve it, I'd have to put face tapes on to kind of get that to really lift up. Or I'd have to kind of bleach this second half of my brow and then kind of draw them in higher up. I'm not going to do either of those things, so again I'm just going to have to cheat it today. So I'm going to use the Anastasia brow powder. I'm going to take them down a little bit there, brush them down, and I'm going to just draw in from above. This kind of fill in really from above with a line. Now my other eyebrow, actually this brow goes higher than this one, so this one's probably going to look better. And hers were literally straight out here, which I'm frankly not going to be able to achieve without the said face taping. But I can cheat it up a little bit here if I just make sure that I really brush that back into that higher shape. And then really it's just about building this boxy shape at the front end here. I think just keep brushing, and also keep using cotton buds as well, because you can kind of soften the edge there. I think that's about as close together as I can go and as boxy as I can go without looking really not good. And I'm just going to keep building that up. I'm going to start the other brow first, and then I'll build up the first brow. So just building up and building up. I'm actually going to use a lighter concealer now, just to try and give me a bit more, the illusion rather, of a bit more space in between my eyebrows. I'll never have as much as Audrey, But I think if I just highlight there a little bit, might just cheat it. Ever so slightly. And using the same highlighter, I'm just sweeping underneath those brows just to highlight. Also, it'll help to clean up a bit because I've got those hairs growing in the wrong place. Just down the centre of my nose. Hopefully that will give the illusion of a bit more space in the area. On to lips, and because it's the 50s, it's Audrey with her red lip. And also because it's Technicolor, it's that really orangey red. I'm going to start by using an orange pencil underneath my red lipstick to give it that sort of Technicolor feel. The shape of her lips was, I'm going to just go over them first. She had this kind of, obviously very full lower lip. And then the top, they kind of came up from the corner there. Kind of have to draw a little line up and then take from there up to the top. It was like her top lip kind of came out a little bit wider than the lower lip. And then just fill that in. Same the other side. It's almost like drawing a little smile. And then just really fill everything in. So over the top of that, I'm going to use Revlon's Fire and Ice. And this was a really popular lipstick in the 50s. It still exists today. Had a massive advertising campaign on television, and it's probably one of the most famous lipsticks of the 50s. I'm going to get over the top. And it's a real kind of pinky coral. Pinky coral red, which whenever I see it, I always think of the 50s. So on to blush, and I'm going to use quite a corally blush, which again was very, very popular at the time. This is Malice by Chanel. And it was applied in a slightly sculptural way. In this scene, she looked quite sort of, I wouldn't say contoured, because she just looked quite kind of shaded with it. And that's pretty much the finished look. But hold on a minute, I've forgotten something. The diamonds. Ah, that's better. And I've borrowed these incredible real diamonds from Jessica McCormack. I think I'm in heaven. So that's it, my take on the look Audrey Hepburn wore in the 1957 Funny Face. And I think I just need a glass of champagne now. Hope you like the look, and I'll see you soon.